Welcome back, people. This is the continuation of the topic of skill-based matchmaking, where I am going to talk about how it's interacted with the players throughout the years. And indeed, it has been around for quite some time, since Activision released a report that the system has been in place since Modern Warfare of 2007, which is also surprising, considering how people seemingly forgot that these times they are reminiscing about like they were yesterday were actually quite some time ago. A lot has changed since 2007, like how the size of the player population is vastly different than it was back then. As an example, it is estimated that the Modern Warfare of 2009 sold 4.7 million units in the US and the United Kingdom on its first year release, with around 25 million lifetime sales as of 2019. Fast forward to good old 2023, and it is estimated that the IP overall has around 100 million monthly players throughout all platforms. That's 4 times the lifetime sales of the old Modern Warfare 2 monthly. So population having an effect on matchmaking ain't such a far-fetched idea. Another thing that has to be noted is that in 2009, crossplay wasn't even dreamed of. So even though they had 4.7 million players on the first day, they were separated by their preferred console. Now, with the ever-increasing prevalence of crossplay, everybody is being placed on the same roof, very likely impacting how matchmaking systems behave. This would be more notable in higher tiers of play, where they probably had looser matchmaking due to lower population, making finding suitable players for a particular match harder. Now, they have loads more people playing at that level, so matchmaking is substantially easier without the need for adjustments. To drive this idea home, I am going to use an article that shows player distribution by rank in the remastered Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. By focusing on the higher tiers, we see that Platinum are only 11.1% and Crimson is a tiny 4.3%, with the highest tier being 0.8. But get this, if we use the numbers of old Modern Warfare 2, 11% of 4.7 million is 521,700 players at Platinum rank. Now, if we go by the good old current numbers of 100 million monthly players, the 11% of those is 11.1 million players. So in theory, the amount of players at that rank could increase by around a factor of 21 during those 15 years. So the people wondering if skill-based matchmaking feels stricter now than it was years ago, then it's probably because of the huge population increase. The feeling is made worse knowing that beyond a certain skill level, having a good performance in a match can be considered to lead into more unfavorable matches, since the algorithm will start matching you with even better players. This is a major pain point for many people, and why they have a bone to pick with the skill-based matchmaking, which I find very weird, because they are complaining about the system working as intended and accurately measuring when they improve. Moving on from playing with population numbers, now I'm going to remind some people here their age. Modern Warfare of 2009 is 15 years old, and Halo 2, another multiplayer classic, is 20 years old now. So when somebody talks about wanting to go back to the olden days, remember to ask them if they got their medical appointments sorted and if they remember to drink their morning meds, because they are probably ancient. These are the people that are probably nostalgic for the days when there were less gamers around, and many of them were gaming for as long as many are doing nowadays. Then the pandemic happened, bringing in more people into gaming and allowing them to play for longer periods of time since we were all stuck at home with nothing else to do. This is important for the whole matchmaking situation since it feeds the idea of there being more people gaming and in higher skill brackets. It should also be mentioned that in the last 15 to 20 years, gaming has become vastly more mainstream, to the point that Call of Duty can have 100 million monthly players and Fortnite can host a concert to an audience of 14 million people. So if we go under the assumption that a lot of them might be a newer generation of gamers, that means that they are playing with their more experienced peers, learning to play as they do, and turning that into the foundation of their skills. So it wouldn't be so strange to consider the skill floor of any given group of players is higher than expected, and that would definitely impact how matchmaking feels. And nowadays, it's even easier thanks to YouTube having millions of videos filled with strategies, guides, and tutorials that teach you ins and out of any particular competitive game. Back in the good old days, there weren't any well-established social media, with gaming being incredibly niche at the time, and information about it was barely shared at all. Some of the classic videos of the time were made by very dedicated people that had to figure out how to record their gameplay, edit it using what would be considered new software at the time, and then upload it on probably now defunct video hosting sites. Now, creating and sharing content is easier than ever, sometimes being done with just a few clicks. Then, there's the social media aspect that became an integral part of gaming these days, with this topic of conversation originating from there. In order to make that happen, people need to keep their head in the game, so to speak, long after they logged off. With them constantly thinking about who they play and how they perform, it's made me think that fatigue could be a factor in how they interact with competitive gaming in general. Where once logging off meant taking off your mind off the game and directed at other things, now we come back to it again and again, every time we doom scroll through Twitter or hunt for something to watch on YouTube. So it will be reasonable to consider that overexposure throughout the years have fatigued a lot of people. And perhaps it is not noticing how much things have changed over the years that has people up in arms about how it feels to play the competitive games they like. Because ultimately, I think that skill-based matchmaking is working as expected, but the feel of it has changed as the environment around it did. At the very least, that's something that should be considered in this conversation for it to go anywhere. Unfortunately, it is not like it has many directions it could go. There's a reason why I'm avoiding talking about connection-based matchmaking, which will be better explained in the last video about this topic. It has to do with how it feels to play these games and how it would just suck for most people if that were the only approach to matchmaking. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to find out when that drops. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, take care, and see you next time.